we're probably older than like half the people watching this. And even then, oh well, whatever. It's kind of scary when you think about age, and it's like, I mean, I don't know how many people are born after 2000. I'm born in the 80s, late 80s, and I'm just like, what is it? 4 years from now, the people from 2000 are going to learn to drive. That's scary to me.
What I like is being able to oh man, you just almost got blown up by a creeper.
I always almost get blown up by a creeper. You should know this.
Oh, I thought you always claimed that you're really good at fighting creepers.
Yeah, when I see them.
I see. Wonder if I should make an explosive Hecate.
I'll kill you.
It flies at you and goes off. That'd just be evil. I won't do that, guys.
Good.
But yeah, what I was getting at is I can start to say things to people like, man, I was alive last millennium. How's that for making you feel old?
Yeah, well, I think I may have had the best New Year's ever for the millennium. I was down at my friend's place, and what were we doing? We're playing Ocarina of Time on the N64. Probably the best New Year's, best way to bring in the the new millennium. Play a classic video game. Probably wasn't very classic back then, but it was still awesome.
Yeah, every time I talk about that game, it makes me want to go through it again.
So you want to play it right now, right?
Well, maybe not right this second, but eventually I can see myself going through it again in the next few months.
Yeah, it's one of those games. I mean, it's pretty bad when you just beat the game within like 5 hours or something stupid like that, because you just memorized where everything is and how to beat everything.
Yeah, I remember I used to be a walking strategy guide for that game. I could quote the Prima strategy guide. Like I could read it verbatim without even looking at it.
Never had it, and I never actually got. I never got the 20 hearts actually in that game.
Me neither. But that strategy guide kind of became my bathroom reading.
Wow, that's pretty hilarious.
I'd say one of the worst though is, I don't know if you remember that Southern Ontario power blackout.
Back in like 04, 06, something weird.
Something like that. The only thing I remember is that Star Wars Galaxies came out like that day, and I bought it, and I was going home to play it, and the power went out for like a day and a half. So I remember just thinking like it was pure torture not being able to play, and it just really sucked.
Wow, that's pretty bad. No, all I remember is it was summer vacation. I'm at my place, my friend's over, playing online computer games, and then power goes out. Oh
yeah, so it literally took us that long to figure out the redstone lamp. And
by figure out, I mean Mithion's laptop was not, for some reason, hooking up to the internet. I could not look it up because I was recording. So Mithion had to take my tablet and look it up on there, because we need to know, because we're pretty pathetic like that.
We were pretty dead in the water. So, we figured we'd just give you guys some anecdotes rather than our kind of silent stretches like that.
Fail.
Shut up.
Okay.
So now we're off to continue our little adventure. We got that little problem out of the way.
Yeah, now that we got the lamps, we're actually going down to do my favorite thing, redstone wiring of what I like to call the training ground.
Yeah, if you want to go into the higher levels, you need to have some way to get renewable XP. So what we do is we look for a mob spawner, and we kind of set it up real nice to be controllable.
Yeah, not just controllable, but we put some fancy modifications in it. And, all you have to do is you set up a You set it up correctly, and you put in just a arcane empowerment table there, and put a chest for all the drops, and you're good.
Yeah, we also saw that redstone wiring is in your strong suit.
Redstone wiring is not my worst, but I mean, I'd say I'm mediocre.
Well, you know, I much prefer using raw essence to redstone. Just saying.
Yeah, well, when raw essence can control some sort of magic light block, why isn't that in the game yet?
Mage light.
Controllable?
I think mage light can be moved by pistons.
Can it?
I believe so. It's something we'll have to try out.
I like how we just pause and look at each other there, just like, yeah, why is that? Why don't we have something like that?
Well, actually, my question to pause and look is why haven't we tried that yet?
Good point. Yeah, oh well.
Just gotta make sure my laptop doesn't go to sleep on me. We're still recording.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've also done recently is I nerfed the mana elemental, because you'll see that we were kind of fearing them throughout this whole video. The way I had them before, they were almost impervious to physical damage. You whack away at them with a sword for 10 minutes and they wouldn't go down. And unless you had augmented arcane bolt, you weren't taking them down with magic either. So they now have a chance to miss with their attacks, and they've got less health and armor. So you take them out in about 3 or 4 arcane bolts at normal. I think that's a little more reasonable. They're meant to be more challenging.
Yeah, so I think what's a creeper I got? Like 2 hits with normal? Maybe 3?
3.
Okay.
It's about 3. So they're just a little bit tougher than a creeper.
Yeah. Anyway, we're right by the mob spawner, which already has the chest set up and currently lit up. And I actually have inventory space for once.
So you could loot the
Surprise,
chest.
surprise. Doesn't last long, as far as I remember.
Yeah. I remember I went about prettifying this room. Ended up furnace touching all the walls.
Yeah.
And I gave you a 5th redstone lamp that we weren't entirely sure what we were going to use it for.
You know what? I think I had some ideas, and I'm pretty sure it just ended up in a chest somewhere in the end. I don't think I used it.
Yeah, I think I ended up asking for it back.
Yeah. Anyway, so now we're getting into the actual making of the, what I like to call the training ground. Basically, what I want to do is I want to have the lights automatically just on a switch, and you just enable the switch, turns off the lights, and you just go into the training ground. Now, the biggest problem with me and redstone and lights is I like the light switch to be up like an actual light switch when the light is on. So I have to invert the signal, which kind of leads to some really bad redstone mishmash. I don't know. Come up with some weird word. And yeah.
Well, you figured it out in the end.
Well, you figured it out in the end.
Yeah, I did.
When in doubt, get somebody else to look at it. Just like programming.
Oh, yeah. I love messing around with redstone wiring.
Redstone's fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to put kind of a different style of automation in the raw essence system. Because, I mean, there's plenty of mods. And, I mean, this mod in our beta has been tested and found compatible with at least 50 other mods. Some of the big ones, it's compatible with Industrial Craft, Buildcraft, Red Power. I know it doesn't work with Invasion yet, for some reason. We've got some ID conflicts and stuff like that, but we'll figure it all out.
Yep. IDs are currently not configurable. It's also in early beta, so...
Well, it's getting later in the beta now.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, our bugs list is rapidly closing, so I mean, I'm still not going to throw out a firm date, but I would I would say that this is going to be moving into a more open beta in the near future.
Just good news for everybody watching out there.
Yeah, I would say maybe if I were to throw out a rough estimate that is by no means binding, disclaimer alert, but I would say probably within like 2 weeks. Just looking at the bugs that are left.
Of course, one bug comes up and could be just a big bug requiring a major refactor, and that could put the whole thing out a week. So,
yep. Well, I'll just try and keep all the threads and everything as up to date as I can with the information. I mean, there is a known bugs list on the wiki itself, so you can always follow that too if you want to kind of see what I've been picking away at. I have been dedicating a lot of time to this, so.
Yeah, all your free time for what, in the last 10 months?
Well, not all my free time, but
good amount of it.
yeah. Well, what can I say? I enjoy it.
Now, here's where I'm not 100% sure on redstone. I think it has to point to what you want it to trigger.
Yes, it does.
So this is where I have to actually play around.
Well, it's probably been a while since you've done much redstone wiring anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Redstone's... Yeah, there we go. Redstone is, it's one of those things that I'll play with a lot for certain things, and all of a sudden I'll just never touch it again for like a month and a half.
Yeah, and then in that month and a half, you forget everything you learned.
Well, I'll forget all the basics. Well, I'll remember all the basics. I mean, I know all the theory behind like the logic gates and all that in general. So, but like I'll make the stupidest mistakes with redstone afterwards. Like this one here. You'll see what goes on. I'm just like, no, this is not connecting at all. And I mean, I don't know why, but I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, come on, redstone. Come on. I'm sure other people do that. Okay, let me rephrase that. I hope other people do that.
Well, I know we've been trying to keep all of these Let's Plays, how do I say, PG-13. So, we probably would have had to edit a little bit of the audio at this point. There's some frustration going on that may not be suitable for younger audiences.
Yeah. There's a bit of choice words. I don't know if they were swears necessarily, but choice, definitely choice.
Our memories differ quite a bit on these then.
Well, this is where I was messing around with... I'm trying to use the jump spell, but out of habit, I press space to jump, even though the spell's active. I don't get... No, like...
Well, I'm just wondering, just because of use cases like that, what do you think of maybe jump being a buff that you apply to yourself, and then when you jump, you can go higher?
That's not too bad, but the one thing I'm wondering maybe is, what do other people think?
Yeah, if you guys have an opinion on that, we'd really like to hear from you.
Because, I mean, that's one of my frustrations. And, I mean, it might not even just be jump. There might be other spells that are like that, too.
Well, the other thing I've been thinking of is, with jump, sometimes I can see it also being frustrating if it's kind of a buff, but you only want to jump once, right? It'd make any kind of parkour puzzle particularly difficult. So I'm wondering if it might be worthwhile to maybe add a second spell that's like agility or something. Makes you run slightly faster and jump slightly higher, but then you have the higher magnitude spells like jump and haste, which are more powerful